Hi there, it's Sandra Green here from the WLA, and I have taken a few sneaky days away in Spain. And we have the most amazing friends who invited us out for a few days in Spain. And of course, they live just outside Barcelona. They have a place in Sitges, which is a really lovely Spanish town by the sea. And they invited us out. We duly got on the plane, and of course, almost mid-air, we were told that we're going to go into quarantine for 14 days, which is a bit of a bugger, I have to say, especially when you've been looking forward to a trip for a while. But anyway, it's all absolutely fine, and yes, we've had to wear our masks out when we're out and about walking, but it's been really lovely to recharge, to spend some time with friends and family, and just to get back in touch with who we are. Do a bit of self-love. I've done yoga every day. I've been out for a couple of runs. I've been swimming in the sea, and it's been really lovely. And I have to say, today we laughed and laughed and laughed. We had the biggest giggle ever, both in the sea, which the waves were pretty rough, and then my son and our friend's daughter organised an aqua aerobics session for all of us, which I have to say was the funniest thing we've had in ages. And while I've been away, I've been doing lots of reading and catching up on webinars and so on. I know I'm a bit of a muppet, I know, but I can't help it. And I was reminded of an amazing story which I wanted to share with you. You may well have heard it before, and it's super powerful, and I think it's relevant no matter where you're at or whatever stage you're at in your career, and wherever you're working, whether you're a leader or not. And it's called The Acres of Diamonds. And it's a true story, and it was picked up by a preacher who had been, I think he'd been an editor, a newspaper editor, and he'd also worked in industry, I think, many years ago. And he was so inspired by this story of the Acres of Diamonds that he told this story 6,000 times and raised enough money to build Templeton College, which is one of the big American universities. So the story is a true story of an African farmer who was hearing about all these diamond mines that were being found and all this wealth that was being created, and he wanted a better life, as do we all, do we not? We never seem to be satisfied with what we have. So he duly tootles off and sells his farm, leaves his family, and goes off in search of these great riches, these great acres of diamonds. And alas, unfortunately, after many years, he doesn't find them, and I think he ends up throwing himself into a river, which is a bit of a sad story. But the interesting thing is that the guy who bought his farm was exploring the land one day and came across a creek, and was in this creek, and he found this particular stone that turned out to be one of the most impressive diamonds ever found. And he continued searching and realized that the land that he had bought from this previous farmer was covered in diamonds. Now, of course, diamonds don't show up in their glittering self that we like to see. They're in their raw form. It's quite difficult to see, and the first farmer hadn't realised what he was looking for. And if only he'd taken the time to explore and understand what diamonds were really about, and perhaps work with somebody and learned and been mentored, perhaps, I don't know, he would have realised that he was actually sitting on one of the world's most wealthiest diamond mines. So in a way, a sad story actually, but also so many lessons, aren't there, in terms of how many of us are seeking opportunities elsewhere, how many of us are searching for the promised land when actually it's all around us. And when we go away, when we take some time out, as I have in the sun, it's a good opportunity to think about what we love doing, what we're good at, what we enjoy doing, what makes our hearts sing. And as you know, I think that the more that we love what we do, the better we are as leaders, and the better we show up for our teams, and the more of us that can do that, the impact's going to be huge. So that's my little challenge for you actually over the next few days, is to think about, what are your acres of diamonds? What are the things that sit within you that perhaps you're not polishing enough, or you need to learn a little more? Maybe there's a little gem of inspiration or opportunity, or something that comes really easily to you that you think that everybody must be able to do it, and it's normally one of your greatest gifts. So have a little think about your acres of diamonds, and do read the story. It's only a short story, and it's really inspiring. So on that note, I think we're off out for pizza shortly, so I shall say farewell and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.